because there's that verse from Arjuna asks Krishna, what causes a man to act sinfully, even knowingly? He knows it's wrong, and still he's pulled to do it anyway, knowingly. And Krishna says, Raja, Kama Esha, Kota Esha, Rajaguna Samubhaha, Mahashano Mahapapa Vidyeha Vihavarya. He said it is lust and lust only that causes one to become entangled. And lust comes in contact with passion and actually turns into something destructive. So what is that lust? It's love that's been diverted. Love for Krishna has been diverted towards this material energy. That's what lust is. So, therefore, that lust will cause one to act even wrongly. So we have to purify our heart. And then Krishna in the next verse says, explains this lust has 3 places, or 6. The mind, the senses, and the intelligence. These are the 3 sitting places. And it has 3 degrees. And he explains the 3 degrees. Lust is like smoke covering a fire, dust covering the mirror, and the embryo covering the womb. So each one is thicker and covered according to the different modes of material nature. And Krishna says how to destroy this energy and this enemy. And he says by constant practice and detachment, by regulating the senses and engaging in devotional service. So regulation is a feature which allows the mind and senses to be geared in a certain direction in this very organized way, so the mind and senses don't deviate from what we say, unexpectedly. Keep the mind and senses engaged in listening to Krishna consciousness. So these are some things you should be aware of in terms of how to deal with the opposite sex. There's no perfect formula. The best dealing is no dealing. Because we've seen how many of our sannyasis have found out? More than half. More than half. At least 2/3 have become, again, taken up grihastha life or left the movement because of it. So, you can see, even sannyasa orders, no guarantee you're not going to fill that. So one should be very, very careful in this situation. So, of course, then there's those who require to move on to the grihastha ashram, but that should be done graciously and intelligently, and not what we say by accident. There's no accidents that come out any better than an accident. Accidents are accidents. Okay, so, any questions, comments, discussions? Yes.
Maybe one question of preaching. One brahmachari once told me about book distribution, but he knew one brahmachari who actually never spoke to women on the street. Maybe when they approached him, but never personally spoke to him. And but I see a lot of advanced brahmachari book distributors who speak to women, not even looking at, don't speak to the beautiful or something. So how should we act there to not get too attached?
Well, you don't want to take a chance. Better not to. But if they approach you and you can speak to them and give them a book. It's not that we avoid women, but you should know that in that association there is the opportunity to get entangled or get diverted in consciousness. So be careful, that's all. Be careful in speech, be careful in how you use your eyes, especially in speech. But if you feel the mind being attractive or disturbed, the best thing is to move on. Save yourself first before you can save anyone else. That's what I've learned. We try to save others, and that's our movement is like that. But if you're sinking down, who can you save? So there is a risk. Just being in the world is a risk. Just walking on the street, there's a risk. There's risks everywhere. Especially in Kali Yuga. Especially you go downtown London on Harinam. My God, you need blinders, right? And when I'm Harinam, London is really bad. I was just in Italy. Oh my God. Nothing against the Italians, but wow, they're very sensual. Super sensual. And I was on Harinam, and I'm like, you can't look at the shops, you can't look at everything. It's just so graphic, It's really, really very, what we say, all-pervading. So, you're in that environment. So what can you do? You just have to remember Krishna, that's all. With intensity. With intensity. And when you do see it, don't look twice. That's the thing. If you look a second time, you're caught. That means there's some interest there. You can't, Prabhupada said, you can't stop at seeing, but if you look with the spirit of enjoyment, or you look again, that means you have the enjoyment spirit. So you see it, just turn your mind away from it. Get focused on the home, get focused on you. So how to deal with ladies on book distribution? Well, I can give you my own personal experience. I went on for a while, and then at one point I stopped approaching ladies. I just stopped. I just was approaching them. And I found it easier to somehow or other do my service. That was a safe way. I'm not saying it's the only way, but to me that was the safe way. Yes, in the back.
You told that we should see a woman like a mother. You meant
we relate to her like a mother.
Relate to her like a mother. I mean, to have respect for her.
Right.
What kind of respect? Because we respect our mother, the teacher, because she grows us up.
Yeah.
But a woman, I cannot see a woman like a teacher. So what can I respect in her?
Well, there's the respect of being an entity, part and parcel of Krishna. So there's the respect for that person being a soul in the life. But respect means in the way you speak. Just speak respectably. Instead of sensually or what we say. There's a certain tone in your speech that it shows respect to others. That we should try to adopt with ladies. We shouldn't be, what we say, trying to create some kind of enjoyment through the conversation. We should just deal with what we have to do. It's more like the respect comes like to a senior. So in that sense, we see the ladies as more or less someone who is senior, and we're just giving respect and honor to that person. It's the opposite, or it's the antidote for the enjoying spirit. I would say speak very slowly and very, what do we say, carefully. And slowly and carefully is a kind of respectable way to deal with ladies. It's something you have to experience. It's not so much. It's part of the Vedic culture to give women respect, rather than see women as sensual objects.